Hi there, Smart Drivers. Rick with Smart Drive Test talking to you today about stalling a manual transmission vehicle. Yes, eventually it's going to happen. Now, before we get started here, if you're working towards a license or starting a career as a truck or bus driver, be sure to hit that subscribe button and get all the great videos that will ensure that you pass your license test. Now, stalling a manual transmission vehicle. The last video I did, lesson 4, I actually stalled the vehicle and I was going to edit that bit out, but after in post-production there, I thought that I should leave it in, so I did, and I got a comment from Toddler and Diaper. Yes, that's the username. And he said that he didn't feel so bad about himself after I actually left that in. And so what I thought I would do was give you more explanation about how to actually get the vehicle going. It's just a matter of pushing the clutch into the floor, turning the key to the off position, turn it back on, and restart the vehicle and just get going again. Really, what is important is knowing that it's not a matter of if it's going to happen, it's a matter of when it's going to happen, and just to practice, you know, a couple of times in the parking lot, dump the clutch, push the clutch in, turn the key off, turn it back on, start the vehicle, and get it going again. But don't panic, don't get pressured by other vehicles on the roadway, because we all know the pressures of social driving. So just take a breath, push the clutch in, turn it off, turn it back on, and get going again as quickly and as expediently as possible. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to stall the vehicle, we're going to get it going again, and show you how to get going after you make the mistake of doing that. So stick around, we'll be right back with that information. Smart Drivers, welcome back. Rick with Smart Drive Test talking to you today about what you do if you stall the vehicle, either by dumping the clutch or having it in the wrong gear when you're driving. It's not a huge deal. Most vehicles, you just push the clutch back in, turn it, start it again, or push the button and it will start. It's not a huge deal. Now, it's going to take a moment, because you're going to, it's going to take 5 to 10 seconds, and when you're sitting in an intersection and people are behind you, and I stalled it. There you go. And we just started back up. Check to make sure we're in first gear. Always check to make sure you're in the right gear, because a lot of times you might have stalled it because you were in the wrong gear, because you didn't switch back to first gear, you left it in third or whatnot. So you just need to check that you're in the correct gear when you stall it, because that's a leading cause other than dumping the clutch. Now, the other reason that you may stall the vehicle is because you're in a new vehicle, you're not used to it, or you've moved from a diesel engine to a petrol engine. And petrol engines are far less forgiving, because you got to bring it out to the friction point, give it a bit of throttle, and if you don't give it a bit of throttle, you're going to stall it. On a small especially the smaller petrol engines, you'd be a bit more forgiving if you've got a big V8 or whatnot. But for the most part, if you've moved from a diesel engine that has lots and lots of torque to a small petrol engine, then you're going to have some challenges. But for the most part, it's not a huge deal. If you're doing hill starts, you might be more prone to stall it on a hill start. I have had students stall large 500 horsepower diesel engines on a hill, which takes a bit of skill to be able to do that. But so we're just waiting for the light here, and then we'll go around here. There's nobody behind us. Now there's a vehicle coming up behind us. We're waiting for the gap here. I guess I'll move up here a little bit and put the front tires on the front crosswalk line right there. Now we're ready to go if there's a gap, or we can meet the gap. Looks like there's a gap coming here, so we can meet the gap here, and then we can turn left. Yes, meeting the gap. Here we go. In the second gear, turning the corner. Turning the corner, turning the corner. And usually the only time that you're going to stall the vehicle is if you're starting from a dead stop. It's unlikely if the vehicle's rolling that you're going to stall it. You might have it in too high of a gear, like if you put it in 5th gear, for example, it'll just it's going to rattle and roll, and you're like, oh, wait a minute, something's wrong. And then you pick the right gear and it'll take off. So I put it in 5th gear and you can hear it rattling and chunking along there. You're like, if it's not sort of running smoothly, you know there's something wrong. You've got too high of a gear or whatnot. So that's another thing. If you do stall it, make sure that you check and make sure that you're in the right gear. Okay, so we'll just left it in 2nd here. See, and I stalled it. So that's pretty common. Just start it back up, make sure you're in 1st gear, and then take off again. So the next thing you do when you stall it is make sure that you're in the correct gear, because a lot of times you won't. So we're here, so we're uphill, give it throttle, check the tracks, and we continue. And again, you can't shift on railway crossings if you're driving a manual transmission, regardless of class of license. So always go all the way over the tracks with the entire vehicle before you shift the gears on a hill start. Okay, so that gives you some idea of some of the reasons why you might stall the vehicle. And if you do stall the vehicle, it's not a huge deal. Just push the clutch in, check to make sure you're in 1st gear, and restart the vehicle. Quick review of stalling the vehicle when you're learning to drive a manual transmission, or if you're moving into a different vehicle or you're just not paying attention. It will happen. As I said in the introduction, it's not a matter of if it's going to happen, it's a matter of when it's going to happen, because even veteran drivers like myself will stall a manual transmission at intersections of those types of things. And the important part is to take a breath, try not to panic, just turn the key to the off position, push the clutch in, restart the motor, and get it going as quickly as possible. And if you are at an intersection, make sure you scan the intersection to look for your gap and get a good space to pull out into. If you did miss your gap, because sometimes that 3 or 4 seconds it takes you to get the vehicle going again is going to cause you to lose your gap. And if other vehicles behind you honk and that type of thing, just take a breath, try to relax, and don't get too panicked about it, because you just want to try and get the vehicle going again as expediently as possible. Question for my smart drivers: what is your experience stalling a manual transmission? Leave a comment down in the comment section there. All of that helps out the new drivers learning how to drive a manual transmission. If you like what you see here, share, subscribe, leave a comment down in the comment section. As well, hit that thumbs up button. Check out all the videos here on the channel if you're working towards a license or starting a career as a truck or bus driver. Lots of great information here as well. Head over to our website, awesome information over there, and tremendous online courses that you can purchase. Later this month, we're bringing out Air Brakes Explained Simply. It's an air brake manual that updates the 40-year-old air brake manuals that are currently in circulation in North America. As well, it gives you step-by-step instructions to pass both your theory and your practical examination for your air brakes for truck, bus, or RV unit. And as well, it gives you at least 150 air brake questions that you will be asked in a theory exam. I'm Rick with Smart Drive Test. Thanks very much for watching. Good luck on your license, and remember, pick the best answer, not necessarily the right answer. Have a great day. Bye now. And have you ever tried to start the motor when it's already going, as I did there? In crashes, and what to do in the event of a crash is for, not compliment. If you like what you see here, share, subscribe.